we've created teams. We've created, are you for Black Lives Matter or are you against? And that's such a preposterous thing, because I have a hard time believing many on the right side or conservatives would even, unless you're on the super far right, which is a fringe and not a group of people that we have to be that concerned about. Out of all our problems, it is like a small slice of a pie of a problem in the United States. To think of alt-right, anti-Semitic, racist, bigoted people that are, in my opinion, people are going to disagree with that statement, but in my opinion, truly racist people are a small slice of the pie. So it's a crazy proposition that we're being met with, the average person, you, me, most everyone we know, maybe everybody we know.
Right.
Black Lives Matter, or they don't. Of course they do. No person, unless you're an utter monster, is going to even think about it. Right. You know? No one. And again, this is going to be some people disagree with too, but I have a hard time believing Trump is racist. I have a hard time because I think he's way too self-involved. He's way too much about, he lives entire life, how can I get more power? How can I do this? The entire theme of his life is the word I. Those people who are really racist, they're ideological. So I think you have to have an ideological mindset that's about your group. Trump doesn't think about his group. Trump thinks about himself. So in a way, I'm sound like I'm putting Trump below a racist person, but really, it's two different things. Trump doesn't think deeply enough to be racist, in my mindset, in my view.
Right.
Would I be surprised if a truth serum, gets put in his mouth and he has to speak truth and he ends up being racist? No, I would not be surprised in the least bit.
Right.
He's right there. He's he says so many things. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Exactly.
What are you saying? Like,
he said so much
I try to be as gratuitous as possible, because I try to attribute not even the best in people, but just not evil. Like I said, not evil in people. I think it's just too simple-minded to think if there's a questionable thing, therefore the worst thing possible is attributed to the person. I think it's you need to think more nuanced, and you got to take a lot of circumstances into consideration.
Right.
All that to say, sorry, that's a big digression.
That's
But I have a hard time believing an average person is a racist, and some people have an easy time believing the average person on the street is racist, and that's an issue that people have no problem at all believing that your run-of-the-mill guy on the street, if he says something that is even questionable, and you're like, all right, white supremacist, he's racist, white privilege.
Just lumping them all in one group.
Lumping them all in one group. And to me, I mean, shit, that sounds racist to me.
Yeah, right.
Grouping, white people, if you see a white person, you think, all right, white privilege.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how many people, I know you fit in this category, that have never had a day of privilege in their life. They've never had a moment where they were able to easily skate by. They paycheck to paycheck, trying hard to pay electric bill and pay rent. Sometimes you don't know if you're going to pay rent.
Exactly. No.
It's just, so it's crazy to me that this a branch from this movement, and not this movement in general. I'm saying a branch of people are being convinced or going with the notion that white people are the problem. Right. White people are the... Chauvin's a problem with George Floyd, and people like Chauvin are the problem. The officer with his knee on George Floyd's neck.
Right.
But the problem with our society is we're going to have to learn how to think nuance and delineate who's actually Chauvin-like and who's your run-of-the-mill average person. And in my view, and maybe I'm way too optimistic, but in my view, your run-of-the-mill person is not racist, because that is...
It doesn't make any sense.
I think I have good reasons. Yeah, I think many people have good reasons to believe that. It's such a waste of it makes no sense, first of all.
No.
Skin color means anything.
Racism shouldn't exist at all.
No, of course, right. But the fact that we are talking about it so much, and it's a lead headline of our conversation, first of all, I guarantee you that's part of why Trump won. Because the left side wanted to make everything about race. And,
Right.
you know, some people call it identity politics. Have you heard that term?
I have not.
Yeah, identity politics is a huge term in the media and, like, people talking about politics and stuff. It's the idea that if you are a certain color, you have all of these things attributed to you. Okay? So the very idea of a black person, if you're black and you're then you're persecuted, and we need to do everything in our power to lift you up.
Right.
That to me is almost like racism, if not racism. Why would you attribute a set of things to a black person you don't even know?